Woohoo!
Yeah! Wasn't that awesome?
Always fun when the kids are involved.
Hey, you like that? Yeah! What a great opportunity. Hey, wanted to start this one off. I'm going to try and get my ears on here and get all this stuff together. But man, what a great opportunity it is to worship God in such a way. And yet, kids do it with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? Hey, just to kind of get this thing jump started, Matt, the kids kind of came up with their own little idea of, uh, of a contest. And I did not direct it. I have not said anything about it. I just thought it was kind of awesome because it fits right in with what we do here at Worship Hearts, and that is help to stir the pot for the creative juices to flow.
Yeah.
And in that process, we're doing cousin camp, and I got all kinds of kids here at the house. It's kind of crazy, nutty and crazy and fun. And let me get all this figured out here. Oh, is that better?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's any better, but it's still part of it. Um, but uh, in the process of me kind of telling them, hey, um, we're gonna be a part of the podcast. All the kids are and worshiping Jesus, and want you to be a part of that. They came up with their own little contest of writing a song.
Cool.
Yeah, and so they kind of challenged each other. They paired up. The kids kind of paired up, and then said, "Hey, I want to be, me and you and me, and we'll do this together, and we'll do that together." And I'm excited about what is coming out of it. I did get to read some lyric of a song that they wrote, and we've recorded on my phone the kind of the melody line of how it should go, and so we're going to build off of that and work through this thing. So I'm excited about it,
Yeah, very cool.
and excited to know that God is, right. Oh, wrong side. That God works not just in mysterious ways, but out of the mouth of babes comes great wisdom as well. And I was reminded when we kind of came up with this thought and this idea. I was reminded very quickly where Jesus said, "Oh, let them come, let them come, let the kids come and meet with me and worship with me and just let me love on the kids." And so we're thrilled that we want to do that here at Worship Hearts as well. So
Yeah.
I was excited about it. So, and I'm excited
Cool.
about what is yet to come. So
Definitely. That is very cool. Yeah. I know at your church and at when I was leading worship, we both had or have had kids Sundays, and I don't remember the specifics of yours, so I want you to share yours. But I know at ours, I wanted the kids involved in every aspect of the worship. So if someone was learning the piano, I wanted them to either be playing or to be at the very least sitting on the bench with my
right,
pianist and watching what she's doing and helping change the music and things like that, following along with what's happening in the service.
yes,
And of course anybody and all could sing. And I'd even we had 8 or 9 microphones that we'd pass out with the kids and let a handful of them
absolutely,
sing in the mics. And uh,
absolutely,
but even to the point of having kids involved with the sound and with projection and screens and things like that. Like I wanted them involved in all aspects of the service, um, so that they got to experience that side of the 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 service. I mean, the
yes,
worship experience. And I know for a lot of them, that's typically when the spark happens. That's when
right,
they get hooked on music, and hopefully they get hooked on Jesus music in
yeah,
the process. But
that's right,
also in worship. And and being a part of the service. So, what? How did you go about setting that up with at your church then?
Well, I've been at several churches, and some of it was done. I mean, there's in three of the ones that we've been at, it was done differently. At one point, we had a kids choir director, and she was phenomenal. When we were in Arkansas, she was phenomenal. She was a school teacher, and so she also could play music, and she taught some music on the side. But uh, she would uh, gather up all those kids, and I don't remember which days, Sunday afternoons or Wednesdays, whatever day it was, that they would practice for special events, for a summertime deal or Christmas um, or any of the other specific holidays that would be involved, Christmas and Easter and that type of thing. 4th of July, we would do all kinds of different stuff, and she primarily worked those kids and presented the music and played through it and worked with them, and that was anywhere from basically from about 3 years old up, and it was fun to see some even some young teenagers, 13, 14, 15, that eventually kind of got, you could always tell the attitudes of those, but it was a great backdrop, and it was a great solid background in music and in service in the church. And she really did make it fun for all of them. And so it was a lot of fun. So that was one element that was done, and then we would invite them in certain aspects too of the general worship. Another place, we actually would have kids' special days, and it's not unlike what we do here at Metroplex, and we have Family Sunday, and primarily our children work through that and do the all of the different ins and outs of the worship day in the setting. We have a family life pastor who preaches and will bring a special object lesson for that day. Brings the kids up on the platform. We let the kids come and practice and share with us in worship, and we sing adult songs, and we sing kids worship songs. And we get a lot of those from several different sources, and so it's really exciting to see the opportunities that churches will give, especially when Jesus himself says, "Let them come, let them come."
Yeah,
So at Metroplex, then we do the same thing, similar to what you were talking about. Is let them sit down next to somebody that's working the piano or playing the guitar or playing the drums or the djembe or singing a song or anything like that. Let them do that. A couple of weeks ago, we didn't have anybody in the sound booth working the video, and I noticed all of a sudden the words were changing on during our practice time, and I looked up and saw the words that were changing for the worship, and I had to look and take a double take, and I see, our sound booth is pretty tall, looks like a judge's bench back there, but I see just above the screens. I don't know if I could do this effectively, but I mean, it's like, this is what I see from here up, is this little forehead beyond the edge of that sound booth, and it's one of our praise team members' oldest son, oldest child, and he's back there, and he's reading along and flipping through the songs as we're practicing. I was like, wow, and he was doing a great job. You know, um, so it was a lot of fun to see that, and then, yeah, we put as many of those kids back there in sound and teach them what we can. Now, it's easy for us to teach them on the sound equipment because ours is 30 years old. So, um, but the audio, the technological side of that, the visual side of that is a much younger computer and a much younger system that we use for that. But yeah, it's a great opportunity to worship together and allow the students, the children from all ages, to be a part of what's going on when it comes to the setup of what we do in a church setting. And And man, I can't encourage churches enough to
Yeah,
say let the kids be heard, let the kids be seen, let them be a part of what you're doing in worship. So yeah,
absolutely.
it's a great time.
Absolutely. Obviously, as we can hear in the background, children offer an additional challenge to worship.
Yes.
What are some of the obstacles or struggles you might say that you've had to overcome in the process of having children involved in worship?
One of the obstacles was I was taught about 20 years ago, um, and I grew up in the Houston area, and not necessarily a high church setting, but it was a little prim and proper type of a scenario. We had our rituals, we had our certain scenarios that we would go through, and so on. And we had children's church, which is a great addition to any opportunity to minister directly to on an age based opportunity to present the gospel. Um, but there were a lot of times when the kids were in the service, and again, like what we do is our family Sunday, the kids stay in the service. So that they get the entire gamut. They get the whole experience, if you want to call it that, the whole encounter of what we do in the worship setting. So the challenges simply um, are the adults being responsible in keeping track of their kids. And I don't mean that ugly. I just mean, know where your kids are
Yeah,
when you got something going on, and know that if you've got a 6 month old in your hands and you're in church, who knows what may come out of their mouth.
sure.
Um, and so you pray that it's all God ordained, and I believe in a big portion of that it is.
Yeah,
Uh, because, like I said, about 20 years ago, I was on a mission trip, and we were in a Mexican church down in Monterrey, Mexico, and there were kids running. This is during the worship service, not just during the song part of it, singing part of it, but when the pastor got up to preach, there's kids still running around, and they're doing this and they're doing that, and for me, I was taught a great lesson, and again reminded of this particular scripture where Jesus says, "Let them come," because the selfishness of me says, "Whose kids are those? They need to be sitting down and being quiet and listening to and to some extent, that's correct. Whose kids are those? There should be a little bit of responsibility involved in that. But the simplicity of it is, they're there.
yeah,
They are in that setting, and they are absorbing every detail of what's going on, whether you think they are or not.
yeah,
And so the idea was, well, then the complaint can be, or the concern can be, is, well, there being a distraction in the process. Well, only if you let it.
yeah,
If you're focused on what's being presented, then there's a lot of things around you that you just kind of tune out, and
sure.
can tune out. And I'm going to say this pretty bluntly: don't tell me you can't tune other stuff out, because you do it when the football game is on. You know, Somebody's hollering in the back room, "There's a fire! There's a fire!" Yeah, just a minute. They're getting ready to go for. Uh,
Yeah,
So there's a lot of stuff that we as humans end up tuning out, just simply because of what we end up being focused on.
yeah,
And so again, man, these things are a learned process sometimes. It's a great opportunity, again, to bring those things together. If you're concerned about the kids being too noisy and so on and so forth, do what we do. We provide them with a little packet, an
yeah,
activity packet or an activity kit. It's got a couple coloring book stuff in it. It's got some little snap together game things. It's got some other little things that actually go along with what's being presented for the service that day too. And then we let them be involved in helping with the tithes and offerings and helping with ushering people in and welcoming them into the service. So there's a lot of things that can be done, and I think we need to do a better job. We need to do a better job of teaching our young people and our even younger people what it's like to be in the presence of God.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I think we can learn a lot from them too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Several stories that Jesus taught began with the kingdom of heaven is like, and a few of those were like a child, like
Yeah.
these children, like, and so sometimes we can get too set in our own ways that we forget it really is about God and our worship of Him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Uh, One of the challenges that I experienced or kind of ran into with in involving the kids had to do with our online services, and that was at the time they would do they would have special music for that Sunday. We would do it once a month or every other month, something like that, and they would have special music that they had been practicing and learning. And I started talking with our uh, the lady that was helping out and putting that together, and I said, "Look, if I can know more ahead of time, then we would like to be the accompaniment to what's
Absolutely,
happening." And it does a couple of things. One is, again, it reinforces that involvement for the kids, but
absolutely,
the other is we can continue to have that portion of the service on our online portion of
yeah,
church. When you're playing music off of a CD, then it's a recording, and you can't share that out, and you get dinged and
yeah,
all that good.
you know,
So the licensing
sure,
issues become a big factor.
sure,
Um, but if you can, yeah, okay, we're gonna sing, this little light of mine, or whatever the song is. Let me know 3 or 4 weeks in advance. I can let my team know what that
right,
song is,
right,
and even if you're learning based on the CD with the kids, then we can know the progression. We can know, if it's
right,
verse, chorus, chorus, and that's it, kind of a thing. Then we know that, and we can play it the same way that the kids have been learning it anyway.
right,
But that was, yeah,
right,
that was its own kind of compounded issue in the
yeah,
process of trying to involve the kids. So,
right.
uh,
Hey G, hey G, bring your song over here, please. Hey, I know this is going to be a short episode tonight, but just kind of wanted to point out. Stay here too with me. Just wanted to point, James. James. And I wanted to point out we've got a Worship Hearts Ready weekend coming up this Saturday. I don't know if this is going to air before or afterwards, but we got us a workshop coming up, and this is part of what we want to do, and it's part of what we like to do here at Worship Hearts, and that is again open the opportunities for you to see that you as an individual are created to be creative,
yeah,
and so I wanted to share with you, Matt, and I wanted to share with our listeners some of the lyric that these two guys put together. Yeah, and
cool.
it kind of, but we're working on a tune still, but they have done a phenomenal job, and it really represents what God is doing in their life, and so I won't give you all of it. I just want to give you a little bit of it, because part of what I was asked earlier was, what are the parts of the song? I said, well, there's a verse and a chorus. Okay, we got that part, Papa. I said, well, some songs have a bridge, and it's either a lyric bridge or an instrumental bridge. And so here is, I'm going to tell you the structure here. Okay, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. I never told them what each part of that was except for the verse. Tell a story, begin to tell a story, begin to share a thought was all I said was with the verse. And these guys came up with this. Wake up in the morning, wake up praising your name. Look out the window, see what you've made. Wake up to praise your name. And then for me, this is the chorus I'm going to say soon. God, you are the awesome one. You help us when we pray. God, you are the awesome one. You made life for us today. Yep, I know. I read it earlier and teared up. I was sharing it with Mimi, and I just like, oh my goodness. And this is what life is. This is what God life is. And this is
Yeah.
what it is to allow yourself to be used by the Creator, to
Yeah.
be creative. And man, and the rest of this is really great. And I'm hoping to work with them throughout the week here. Cousin Camp, and
Woohoo.
we're having a great time. And this is the first full day of Cousin Camp. There's 5 more. Uh, we're gonna have a great time, and the other two, and then the third one who can barely walk, but the other two have been working on a song too. So it's been a great day in and out of different elements of life today as we share. But man, this is what Worship Hearts is about, and this is what life is on being used by a godly influence and a great creator. And by the way, James titled it. I don't know if you can see that. That's the
Worship
title of the
Hearts.
song.
Nice.
So yeah. So we're excited about it. So, and I'm excited about continuing on it, and I'm excited about this weekend's event.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions, or if you want to know anything more, or shoot us some ideas on what your church does on sharing the platform and sharing the responsibility, sharing the leadership of serving God in church, message us at worshiphearts
At gmail.com.
gmail.com. I had to make sure I was getting it right.
You got it.
Worshiphearts at gmail.com. Send us some information. Send us some questions, and certainly click like and all of those other types of things that you do on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all of the other opportunities and podcasts and things. I think Anchor is another one. Spotify. Yeah, hit those like buttons and share it with us. Did I do okay there?
Oh yeah, did great. Did great. We got hoodlums wrestling in the background.
I know. This is great, isn't it?
It's day one, so they still have energy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, thank you. I got another one. They're giving me a truck, so
Awesome.
thank you. Oh, and he's got a pick in his hand too. So
There you go.
they're starting them off early.
That's it. That's it. Very fun. Well, enjoy your time, and thank you to our listeners and viewers for being with us this week. We will see y'all next time.
Bye now.